In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make these adorable Easter Bunny candy treats. And you're going to need a few supplies for these: 65-pound cardstock, the bunny template, which is completely free on my blog. You can use PDF printables or SVG cut files are both included. You'll need a glue gun, some clear cellophane, candy of your choice. Try to pick small candy like M&Ms, scotch tape, and a white pom-pom for the bunny tail. These are really cute to make for Easter and springtime crafts, and they're not at all hard whether you're using a cutting machine or cutting by hand. So let's get started. Okay, so I have my two bunny templates cut out here, and I have 2 pieces of cellophane, which I used the template for as well, and I have a white pom-pom for the tail. And the first thing you're going to want to do is get your cellophane taped together. I just use scotch tape for this, and I add a little bit of tape as I go, a little bit at a time, until the whole circle is almost closed off before I add my M&Ms. And I experimented with a lot of different ways to do this, with like hot glue or photo tape or adhesive tape. And those honestly just didn't work. Either they weren't holding the candy and it was breaking open, or you were getting glue near your food and it just isn't something you want to do. You don't want to end up eating glue. So I just used some scotch tape and fold it over the edge of the circle and work little by little around the circle. And you're going to want to make sure you overlap each piece of tape as you go, and it's going to distort the circle a little bit, and you're going to have kind of pointed edges that stick up. That's fine. We're going to take care of that in a minute once we get it all taped together and our M&Ms inside. So just go around the circle until you've sealed the edges with the scotch tape. Okay, now I just have a little space open, so before I seal that off, I'm going to add my candy, and I'm using some M&Ms here. I recommend making sure you use a smaller candy so that you can fit a significant amount in there, and it'll just cooperate better with the craft in general. But I'm just using some Easter M&Ms here. You can use mini M&Ms or maybe some Skittles or something of a similar size as well. When you're filling it up, make sure you leave a little bit of space. You don't want to like stuff it so full that you can't push the M&Ms around the inside a little bit with a little bit of space, because we're going to need that space when we go to layer our bunny behind and in front of it. Once you get your M&Ms placed inside, then just seal off that final piece, that final area. The next step will be to take your scissors, and where you see the little points from the tape, just trim those and round them off a little bit. Do not cut too deep, because then you will end up reopening the cellophane. You just want to do a very, very slight snip at the top to round those edges off. And then if anything else is overlapping once we put our bunny together, we can always fix that as well by trimming it off. Usually mine doesn't, so you should be okay. The next step is going to be to put your M&Ms onto the center of the bunny's belly, and you're going to want to kind of move the M&Ms as you do this, getting them to work towards the center. And I use hot glue for this part because we have our M&Ms already packaged, so they won't make contact. And I just add a little bit of glue at a time around the circular part of the bunny's belly and press the cellophane into it. You can see I'm pushing the M&Ms towards the center as I do this, so that it's being pushed away from where I'm sealing the hot glue underneath it. Next, we're going to place the top of the bunny over it so that it has a nice finished edge to it and we can still see our M&Ms through. I like to glue the top of the bunny first and get everything aligned very well with the ears and the head area, because then it makes it easier to make sure I'm aligning things when I'm working around the M&M center there. So I recommend starting at the top of your bunny with some glue before moving down to the bottom of the bunny. Then I just add some glue to the base of the bunny and to his little feet, and I kind of work with like one side at a time. And you'll want to kind of work with the M&Ms to push them to make sure, you know, that they're staying within that window area and they're not shifting and getting in the way of where you're trying to get good contact with your glue. So you can see I'm just sort of pushing my M&Ms more towards the center and then adding my last bit of glue there so that I can get a good final seal. The final step is to glue the little white pom-pom onto the bunny's tail area. Again, push your M&Ms up a little bit so that you're not adding hot glue directly on top of them. Even though they are covered with cellophane, I just try not to make any contact with the food whatsoever because you don't want to melt your M&Ms either. So just add a little dot of glue and then push the bunny tail on. And that's how easy it is to make these adorable Easter bunny treats. So you can make the bunny like this where it's the back side, or if you want to get creative, you can also make them double-sided where I did a bunny tail on the back and I made a little bow tie for a boy bunny and a little bow at the top for a girl bunny. So those are optional as well, and I include the bow template in the free templates. So I hope you guys enjoy making these, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Find more crafts and free templates like these on abbykirstencollections.com.